So this week has been a challenging one, to say the least. It's actually been the last couple of weeks. I've experienced loss in my immediate family, and we recently experienced a very devastating loss in my country of origin, which is Dominican Republic. And it's been kind of a cycle of downward energetics, vibrations, and emotions. And it got me thinking about what we can do in a very conscious way when we are in low vibration, when we are feeling grief and loss and all the other emotions that come through in lower vibrations, like anger and resentment and so many others. And I think it's important to understand that as a conscious being, spiritual counselor, and mentor, these are moments where people can go into spiritual bypassing. An element of spiritual bypassing could be the moving straight into love and light, trying to just navigate in a very, let's say, aggressive way to the higher vibrating energetics, and just bypassing what's really happening in our system and in our nervous system. We always want to feel good, right? We always want to be in joy, in grace, ease, and flow. And sometimes when we're hitting these lower vibrations, it's necessary for us to remain congruent and take care of our human needs in a very soft and intentional way, right? It's important for us to give ourselves the moment to feel the feelings, right? When does it get into spiritual bypassing, and when does it get into like re-traumatizing would be the question, right? Spiritual bypassing is when you're trying to go into higher vibrations too quickly and in a very abrasive way, right? In a way that doesn't feel organic, doesn't feel natural. So if you're in grief and loss, and for a moment you have the capacity to pull out of it and laugh at something or even say a joke, that's a very organic way of moving upwards. Even though you can go from loss to laughter, it's still organic, right? Because mentally and emotionally you were there authentically. If you're forcing, by looking the other way, by suppressing the actual emotions, by pushing through it, right? Like, I just got to push through this and not experience it. These are all very inorganic ways in which we spiritually bypass, because we believe that it should be love and light, and energy is everything, and if our energy is low, we're going to start to manifest and match things that are in that energy. And although that there may be an element of that, the most important thing is for whatever element and energy, for whatever energy that you are emanating, for it to be authentic. So if you're posturing, right, a higher vibration, when you are genuinely feeling emotions that are lower, it's not going to have the impact, right? Like, you cannot fool the universe by acting as if. So it's a much better plan for you to stay with your emotions, take care of your human, do the things that can start to bring you up into vibration slowly. Like, for me, it's very much things around self-care and slowing down and going into like a rhythm of self-reflection. So it'll include things like a longer shower, something that is maybe a massage, prayer, meditation, journaling, a lot of soothing yet healthy foods. And also it includes for me music. Music is a way in which I could land in a very precise way with the music, with the emotion that I want to connect to. So I will use those things to bring me up from the lowest vibration, up the energetic guidance scale, right? Another thing that I can touch on, which is huge for me, is gratitude. So I could start to feel into what moments I had with the person I lost that I'm grateful for, what experiences we had together, what parts of them were powerful for me and I'm grateful for, what things they touched, what legacy they left, all of the things that can help me land on what's more positive and energy rich, right? What are the things that can be re-traumatizing, right? When you're keeping yourself in the moment and reliving it and living it and living it and living it over. I'm going to give you an example. This past experience with my aunt, I was in the front of the room when she was being moved into her resting place, her final resting place, or in the coffin. And it was a moment that kind of caught me off guard because I've never seen that, where there's like a drop down feature in the coffin. And I kept thinking about it and I kept going there visually, and that's an element of re-traumatizing. Like, I felt it in the moment, I had the experience and the huge drop in the moment. It usually takes about 30 seconds to a minute to let the emotion flow through you. The rest is my memory going back to that moment and just reliving it and taking my emotions back there. So I've worked on releasing that moment, and every time I go to that moment, I kind of zero it out or get back to neutral by focusing on beautiful moments with my aunt. I saw her in January. We had a chance to sit and chat in a very intimate way. So that's a place where I can go to in default of that last moment that I experienced. This is me feeling the loss and the grief while still working on getting to a higher vibration around it. So these are times where we're going to have all of it, right? Because we're in that zero moment where we are in the death and the rebirth. And we're going to experience some moments that are very characteristic of things that are dying, expired. And we're going to experience moments that are very characteristic of the new birth. So I definitely want us to understand that there are ways in which we can live in the harmonious sweet spot of both of those things that are very congruent, that are not jarring to our nervous system, that do not require the unhealthy survival skills of like fight, flight, or freeze, that create inconsistency in our nervous system. And we, this too, we will be able to live through and see better days. So, sending you lots of love. I hope this serves. And if you have any questions about how to avoid spiritually bypassing hard moments, or if you have questions around how to take care of your human during difficult and challenging moments, I'm here for it. Let's make this a dialogue. And I can't wait to see you next week. Bye-bye.